So the truth is that I am Eeyore in the household, and probably darker in some ways, but underneath, I'm pretty positive, and Dan is always happy, positive, never complains, and yet he's dark. Like there's a certain, I'm like, what? What? Where is this coming from? So it doesn't, no, that doesn't surprise me. He is dark on the inside a little bit.
Dan and I, just given the friendship that we have, and feels like an artistic one as well as an actual one, there were a number of times throughout, after he had sent me the script and I really wanted to play the part and we were on our way, we had a lot of discussions about how what he had written he felt like maybe was a bit too extreme, and where we could draw, sort of more real life kind of inspiration from. And we just started from the obvious places, the sort of Jerry Saltz places, and then we moved into odd kind of cultural references of, sort of somewhat the idea of masculinity, but the identity being always in question. And that tends to fall into the sort of male movie star category. So Marlon Brando became a very interesting inspiration for us. There's one particular photograph of him kissing a cat, where he has a very particular hairdo that's very Roman. I'm not sure what movie he's doing at the time. And we became very inspired by that, as well as an interview with him at the Ed Sullivan Show right after he'd won an Oscar.
It was fun because, Coco's, yeah, she's pretty pure in the beginning and just like, hard-working, determined, kind of like sees it very like, you work hard, you make your way up. But, in an art, in any sense of art and business, I think that's, there's such a funny subjective thing, and like that's not, hard work doesn't always equal making your way up, and I think she starts to kind of see that as she interacts with all these different big personalities. But it was fun to, really so fun to get to weave through all of these characters that were created.
I've always been really interested in how strange bedfellows art and commerce are, because this whole notion of selling out, who are you if you're an artist and you're doing the real thing? What does that mean? You're not allowed to make money? Or if you're an artist who's making lots of money, does that mean you're kind of not really that talented but you're just super popular? There's just so many different parts of this weird grid in the art world, and I'd had a little bit of experience with the art world, weirdly enough, leading up to the film. I made a film for the Tate Britain in England, and it was the first time I'd actually experienced like a gallery who sit before the artist, so you have to go sort of through the gallery to get to the artist, and that can be intense. There's a lot of protection, and there's a lot of, it's like the mafia in a way sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to get to so-and-so, you got to get through. Right. And then behind all those really tough people is this very kind of timid, right, sweet artist.
As an actor playing someone who does a real job, you generate a certain amount of empathy for the person you're playing and the job that they do. And I never thought that I would say that I finally have empathy for critics. But I do, and thanks to Dan Gilroy.
So I love contemporary art. I didn't know much about the world. Danny came home after visiting Dyer. It's an art gallery upstate New York. He said, I have this great idea for a thriller. And the place is a little creepy, and there was installation down below that was a bit creepy. I thought, that's a really good idea. So he kind of slowly turned me on to the art commerce, situation in the art world, but I didn't really know that much about it.